Hello friends, this is the InStyle Knitting Studio. Today, we will get acquainted with the edge stitches. After we have cast on the necessary number of stitches, we remove one needle, we take it out. Or if you have cast on with one needle, then take the second one in hand. Place the needle with the cast on stitches in your left hand, and the free needle in your right hand. And let's get started with the knitting. The first and last stitches are called edge stitches. There are 3 main methods for knitting them. Depending on this, different edges of the fabric are formed. Let's take a look at these 3 methods. The first method is the chain edge. Place the working yarn in front of your work. With the right needle, slip the first stitch, inserting the needle from right to left. And the last edge stitch is knitted as a regular knit stitch. I will knit the last one in the same way for a few rows, so that we can see how the edge of the fabric looks. After knitting a few rows, we can see how the edge appears. It looks like a chain. Here is the chain, and on this side, there is a chain too. This method of knitting edge stitches is suitable for almost any pattern. But it is better, of course, for the edge to be hidden in the seam. The second method is the knot edge. We slip the edge stitch at the beginning of the row with the right needle, from right to left. The yarn is held behind the work, and the last edge stitch is knitted as a knit stitch. The last edge stitch is knitted as a knit stitch. I will knit a few rows so we can see how edge will look in this case. After knitting a few rows this way, we can see what kind of edge we got in this instance. It looks like knots. On this side and on the back. The knots are almost identical. This edge is less stretchy. It is better to use it so that we have an open edge. That is when knitting the edges of jackets or when making a vertical buttonhole, the third method. I like this one the most. In my opinion, it is the simplest. The working yarn is behind the work. With the right needle we move from right to left, just like in previous cases, to slip the first edge stitch. The last stitch will be knit as a purl stitch using the grandma method. The last edge stitch will be knit as a purl stitch using the grandma method. I will knit a few rows again so we can examine the edge of the fabric. I have knitted a few rows in this way. Here, you can see the little braid. From the other side, the little braid is also visible. In any case, when knitting the edge stitches, we have one edge stitch for every 2 stitches of the fabric, which is this side stitch. Sometimes edge stitches are not slipped and are knit the same on both sides. In this case, there is one edge stitch for every row of fabric. And usually, the edge will be more stretched. Therefore, it is still better to slip the edge stitches. I will also add, if the description indicates to cast on 10 stitches, it means to cast on 8 pattern stitches and 2 edge stitches. One more tip. To avoid a stretched edge, try to knit the edge stitch and the first 2 stitches more tightly. I use stockinette stitch as an example. You can use any other pattern, but stockinette stitch more clearly shows what our edge will look like. Knit, experiment and find any method that is comfortable for you. I will be glad if I can be of help to you with this information. Subscribe, like, and see you in new classes. Bye bye.